Morning, all. All right, so just the two games tonight in the National Hockey League. So, as is standard, when there's three or less games, the preview and the news video are one video that day. So we have two games tonight in the National Hockey League. One starting at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. One starting an hour and a half after that. So it's kind of compact tonight. So we have the New Jersey Devils and the Washington Capitals starting things off. This is the third of four meetings. Washington won the first two. On October 25th, it was a 6-4 victory, and on November the 10th, a 4-2 victory. So while Washington struggled with goal scoring against New Jersey, they haven't. The fourth and final meeting between these teams will be February the 20th. For New Jersey, they're trying to win their first game against Washington. They're also 19-14-2. They're trying to get themselves above the playoff line and to try to get comfortably there. Their last 10 games, they are 5-4-1. Their power play 30%, their penalty kill 78%. Jack Hughes has had a very, very strong season. 15 goals, 29 assists, 44 points for Jack Hughes. On the Washington side, they're 18-11-6. They're coming off of that victory over Pittsburgh yesterday where they got the big lead and then kind of held on. They're 4-3-3 in their last 10 games. Their power play, anemic, 12%. Needs to get better. Penalty kill 82%. One good thing for their power play is Ovechkin seems to be getting the goal scoring going. He has 8 goals, 14 assists for 22 points thus far this season, so we'll see where it goes. 9 Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific, we got the Maple Leafs in against the Anaheim Ducks. So Toronto coming off their win against LA last night. It was a pretty solid game, too. We'll see how things go in this one. Toronto's now 18-10-7 on the season. They're 4-4-2 in their last 10 games. Their power play 25%, their penalty kill 78%. Nylander leading them in scoring, 19 goals, 31 assists, 50 points. We will talk about Nylander again in this video. The Anaheim Ducks 13-23 on the season. They're 3-7 in their last 10. Their power play 20%, their penalty kill 80%. So those numbers put together means 100%. It's pretty good. But yeah, Troy Terry, they'd want more from him than what we had so far this season. 9 goals, 13 assists, 22 points for him. So as always, let me know your winners in the comments section below. Moving on to news of the day. The LA Kings have made a move that I think Kings fans are going to be happy about. Brant Clark has been recalled from the Ontario Reign, and Bjorn Focht has been placed on waivers. Tobias has barely played this year. Seriously. His first year in LA, Bjorn Focht was very noticeable. Since then, it hasn't been so much the case. So I would expect he would clear waivers, but he's still young enough. There might be a team in the NHL willing to take him on. Lundestrom is set to make his season debut tonight for the Anaheim Ducks against Toronto. They've absolutely missed Lundestrom. While offensively, he's had his issues at times. I feel like defensively, he's pretty solid. Anyways, for Anaheim, this should be an important addition. We'll see if this helps them at all. Again, they're 13-23. They're not going to make the playoffs, but I mean, having a healthy team out there should help them win some more games than what they've been winning lately. So Nick Kypreos has been stating this over the last 24 hours. We'll see if he's right. William Nylander, there's been talks about how much he might get, how much he's worth to the Leafs. And of course, if you're of the mind that the Toronto Maple Leafs need to move on from the core four and work on filling out the rest of the roster and not overpay guys, the what Kypreos is saying here may not be along the lines of what you're looking for, whether you're a Toronto fan or not. It apparently will be an 8-year deal when it's signed, and he's saying that the cap hit could come in around $11.25 million, which would be equal to Pasternak's deal with the Boston Bruins. So for Nylander, who's having a very good season, and he had a very good season last year too. So the idea that, well, he's just having the one good year. He had a very good year last year as well. He's going to get paid. The question then becomes about cap allotment, like how much money they're spending on certain players and how that could be better spent elsewhere. Winning makes it all go away. Really does. If the Toronto Maple Leafs come through and they do something in the playoffs this year beyond, say, round 2, if they get all the way to the conference final, if they get to the Stanley Cup final, all the discussion about how much the core 4 makes will still be there, but nowhere near as loud. And of course, if they won the Stanley Cup, well, then it all kind of goes away. And people say, see, it was worth it. So last night, Connor McDavid reached 900 points and passed it. He's only in game number 602 when he reaches that mark. So that's quite remarkable. Really, Connor McDavid is a fantastic offensive talent. He can take over the game by himself. And I expect McDavid to continue putting up numbers at a record pace. Keep in mind, too, this means that he's less than 100 points away from 1,000. He needed 150 points this season to reach 1,000 points, but he's the only player in the National Hockey League that I think we would look at and say, well, if he needs 150 points in a year, yeah, he can do that. So that's where McDavid's at. He had the 5 points last night, of course. So like I said, he gets to 900 points and just keeps going. But yeah, so he is within 100 points of 1,000. And so does he get there before the end of the season? I wouldn't necessarily bet against him. He can put up tremendous points. Like I said, that was the 10th time in his career he's had 5 points in a game. So I think he'll probably do it again before the end of the season. Pittsburgh calling up Ryan Shea from the minors as Ludwig's on IR. And Mike Sullivan's saying he'll be out for a while. Now, it sound like it's going to be more of a long-term thing. So we'll see how long Ludwig's out. But Shea being recalled, he's played a bunch of games for Pittsburgh already this season. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. And it shouldn't affect the record, I would think, one way or the other. The World Junior Championship semifinals are tomorrow. Czechia versus Sweden, Finland versus USA. Both of those should be fantastic matchups. And I hope for people who watch them, you enjoy that. Again, because it's in Europe, the games are on so early. I haven't been watching the World Junior Championships, but I'm glad to see that we're going to get a brand new gold medal winner this year. It should be fun. And again, I'm kind of rooting for the U.S., but if it was any of these 4 countries, I'd be happy for them. World Juniors, I do think there's too much importance put on individual performances sometimes when it comes to World Juniors, both positive and negative. There are players who will have a really good tournament here, not necessarily a great year in juniors, but they'll go higher in the draft and the World Juniors gets mentioned, and vice versa, where somebody will say, well, he had a good year, but then at the World Juniors against best on best, or playing best on best, he wasn't as good, so we dropped him down. So we always see that. Yeah, there are still some stories to be told. Who do you think wins the gold medal at the end of this? So last night, the PWHL Ottawa team, and again, PWHL does not have names for their teams at this stage, they attracted 8,318 fans into attendance. That is the highest number of fans to attend a professional women's hockey game. So kudos to them for that. It was against Montreal. Montreal won the game in overtime 3-2, but you still attracted a record audience. And so we'll see how that goes. Because, of course, with the PWHL, their income, a lot of that is going to be through attendance. Obviously, they're going to have some revenue from broadcasters here and there. But to start things out, really, the attendance are going to decide how things go. But 8,000, that's not bad for an attendance. Ottinger was spotted at practice today. The Dallas Stars, while I was putting this board together, the Dallas Stars tweeted, X'd out, photos of Ottinger at practice. Now, I like Wedgwood. I think Wedgwood's fine as a backup. I do not think Wedgwood is a starter, and I think that it's becoming kind of apparent over their last couple of games as Wedgwood's had his struggles. He's played a lot. Honestly, I have nothing but respect for Wedgwood, but it will be nice to see Ottinger back for the team as soon as possible. So hopefully this is a sign that Otter's good to return as soon as, say, I don't know, tomorrow? But we'll see. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're just browsing your way through, you just, hey, hi, welcome to the internet. Or, because you haven't done it yet. So I would appreciate that as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.